Have you ever noticed that some women around you look 30 to 35, even though they are in their 50s, and that their energy levels are really much higher? Or have you ever wondered how they manage to look that way? Generally, it is thought that people who look this way have paid a considerable amount of money for cosmetic procedures, because there is a preconception that this is the only way to achieve youth, radiance, and glow. Actually, this is exactly what I want to talk about today. Because I want you to know that looking young and feeling that way is not a matter of genetics or wealth. In fact, it has to do with the small but effective daily habits we practice when we wake up in the morning. Once you learn and internalize these practices, rest assured that not only your skin, but your entire life will change. As a result, when people ask your age, they will be quite surprised by your answer. What I'm really trying to say is that it has a profound impact on your life. In other words, when you integrate the practices I'm about to describe into your life in a disciplined manner, youthfulness, vitality, and radiance naturally follow, and you'll start to see these results gradually within a few weeks. Essentially, the 10 habits I'm sharing today are very effective habits that significantly slow down aging. These are practices that have been confirmed through trial and error, based on scientific research conducted over long periods of time and by listening to experts with extensive knowledge on the subject. Of course, the best part is that they definitely don't require any cosmetic surgery. They are all very natural and simple practices that you can start today and control yourself. By the way, before moving on to the first item, I have a small request. Write "a new me tomorrow morning" in the comments. That simple sentence will turn a key in your mind and, in a sense, force you to take action because you put it in writing. If you like, let's start with the first habit right away. 1. Start writing down your daily goals and things you're grateful for. I want to start with a question for you. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? As you know, many people immediately reach for their phones. They check social media or look at important emails. However, I want to point out that this approach essentially means focusing on someone else's agenda for the day. Instead of doing that, set aside time for yourself, especially in the first 10 minutes of the morning, and open a notebook, for example. By writing down your goal for the day, the feelings of gratitude you have, and your appreciations, you will cause your brain to start the day on a very different frequency and emotional state. Of course, this very simple habit not only affects your mental health, but also directly impacts the physical aging process. Here's the reality. Science now clearly shows that chronic stress and negative thoughts cause cortisol levels in your body to remain constantly high. High cortisol breaks down collagen, causes wrinkles in the skin, and accelerates cellular aging. When you practice gratitude, the stress centers in your brain calm down, and the secretion of youth hormones like DHEA increases. Specifically, people who regularly write down their gratitude have longer telomeres, protective structures at the ends of chromosomes and biological markers of aging. So you don't just feel good, you also age more slowly at the cellular level. I also want to mention that writing down your goals in the morning gives you back control of your day. Writing goals triggers the release of dopamine in your brain. This motivates you, boosts your energy, and increases your zest for life. One of the biggest enemies of aging is aimlessness and passivity. People age very quickly after retirement because they no longer have clear goals. Every morning, by writing down what you will accomplish today, you send your brain the message, "I am still active, I am still growing." This increases neuroplasticity and keeps brain cells young. Finally, I would like to say that you should do this habit consistently for at least 30 days. The brain needs 21 to 30 days to form a new neural pathway. Of course, the first week may feel like a struggle, but you'll start to feel the difference after the second week. You'll wake up more energetic in the mornings, feel less stressed during the day, and even the expression on your face in the mirror will change. Because inner peace and purpose reflect outward. One of the most powerful tools for slowing down aging is keeping your mind under control. And this morning ritual does exactly that. By the way, I know this is probably the second or third video you've watched on my channel, and it really saddens me that you haven't subscribed yet. Because seeing you here, progressing together on this journey of youth, is very valuable to me. If you subscribe, you'll be supporting me in the strongest way possible, and we won't lose touch with each other again. Also, if you click on the new Hype button, you'll help this kind of content reach more people. Thank you very much in advance. 2. Try to eat a protein-heavy breakfast. We all experience something like this. First, when we wake up in the morning, our bodies experience effective hunger stress. Of course, since we haven't eaten anything for about 8 to 9 hours throughout the night, our bodies have consumed the energy reserves stored beforehand. For this reason, what we eat first thing in the morning directly affects our metabolism, hormone balance, and, in a sense, our aging rate throughout the day. To give an example, if we start our day with a breakfast that is high in sugar, such as cereal, various types of jam-filled bread, or just regular fruit juice, our blood sugar rises very quickly and then immediately begins to drop. Naturally, in this undesirable situation, our skin also begins to lose its elasticity easily, and unfortunately, this leads to rapid aging. However, when we consciously eat a breakfast that is high in protein, we initiate a very different biochemical process. There is also this. Protein is absolutely essential for collagen production in the body. Collagen is the main building block of the skin, hair, nails, and even joints. After the age of 25, the body's natural collagen production decreases by approximately 1 to 2% each year. This is why wrinkles, sagging, and loss of elasticity occur. When you consume protein in the morning, you provide your body with the amino acids it needs for collagen synthesis. Amino acids such as glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline play a critical role in collagen production. Traditional breakfast proteins such as eggs, Turkish yogurt, cheese, cottage cheese, and Easine cheese are very rich in these amino acids. In addition, morning protein also preserves your muscle mass. After the age of 30, approximately 3 to 8% of muscle is lost every decade, a condition known as sarcopenia. Muscle loss means not only looking weak, but also a slowing metabolism, decreased bone density, and accelerated overall aging. Specifically, consuming high-quality protein in the morning triggers muscle protein synthesis, MPS, and prevents muscle loss. Morning protein is especially important because the body is in a catabolic breakdown mode throughout the night. When you consume protein in the morning, you immediately switch this process to an anabolic building mode and preserve muscle tissue. I must also add that skipping breakfast is not a good idea. You might think, I'll stay hungry so autophagy is activated, but going without protein in the morning can cause your body to burn its own muscle. 3. Try to take a light walk on an empty stomach. The fact is that when we first open our eyes in the morning, our body is actually in a state of highly effective metabolism. Since everything we ate throughout the night has been digested, our glycogen stores are quite low, and therefore the body is ready to burn fat for energy. In fact, at this very moment, a 15 to 20-minute light-paced walk right before breakfast is one of the most effective and natural ways to slow down the aging process. Of course, this seemingly simple habit also significantly strengthens the mitochondria within our cells. Consequently, inflammation decreases, and the oxygenation percentage of our skin increases significantly. Of course, I'm not talking about intense running or strenuous exercise, just a short, light-paced walk. As most of us would guess, when you walk on an empty stomach, your body starts using fat instead of glucose as an energy source. This process is called lipolysis. When fat burning increases, visceral fat, the dangerous fat around internal organs, decreases. Visceral fat secretes cytokines that produce inflammation, and these cytokines accelerate collagen breakdown in the skin, leading to wrinkles and aging. Morning walks help melt this dangerous fat. It also increases insulin sensitivity, meaning the body uses insulin more efficiently. Since insulin resistance is one of the biggest triggers of aging, this is very important. In fact, there's another truth. Morning walks also activate autophagy. Autophagy is the mechanism by which cells clean themselves. Old, damaged cell parts and toxic proteins are eliminated, replaced by new and healthy structures. This process is invaluable in terms of anti-aging. Research by Japanese scientist Yoshinori Ohsumi, winner of the Nobel Prize, shows that autophagy prevents cancer, Alzheimer's, and age-related diseases. Light exercise on an empty stomach is one of the most natural ways to trigger autophagy. But be careful, I say light, because very intense exercise on an empty stomach can increase the stress hormone cortisol and have the opposite effect. In addition, walking also speeds up blood circulation and improves microcirculation in the skin. More oxygen and nutrients are transported to the lower layers of the skin, and toxins are eliminated more quickly. That's why people who take regular morning walks have brighter, more vibrant, and younger-looking skin. It also activates the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is the body's waste collection system, but unlike the heart, it does not work on its own. It is activated by movement. Morning walks accelerate lymphatic drainage, reduce edema and swelling, and make facial features more defined. 4. Do an ice massage on your face. If when you wake up and look in the mirror, you notice some puffiness around your eyes, unwanted dullness in your skin, and more visible pores, then an ice massage is one of the most effective tools to change that situation. This method has been used for many years, even in very different cultures, but it has been incredibly supported scientifically, especially in recent times. Rubbing an ice cube on our face in the morning essentially causes the blood vessels under our skin to activate and move very quickly. Of course, this activation and acceleration also triggers the increased production of collagen, which we need. As a result, our facial features quickly become more defined. And do you know what the best part of this is? There is no extra cost. It's a completely natural and very simple application that we can do at home in just a few minutes. In fact, regular ice massage shrinks pores and tightens the skin. The cold application stimulates fibroblast cells in the lower layers of the skin. Fibroblasts are cells responsible for collagen and elastin production. Collagen provides skin firmness, while elastin provides elasticity. As we age, the production of these two proteins decreases and the skin begins to sag. Ice massage reactivates fibroblasts and increases collagen synthesis. It also accelerates lymphatic drainage, reducing puffiness and swelling in the face. Ice massage works wonders, especially for puffiness under the eyes when you wake up in the morning. Of course, there is also this. Ice massage increases the skin's absorption capacity. After applying cold, the tightened pores are better sealed, and the serum, oil, or moisturizer you apply to your skin absorbs much more efficiently. Therefore, always perform ice massage on cleansed skin and apply your skincare products immediately afterward. It also reduces inflammation in the skin. If you have problems such as acne, redness, or sensitivity, ice massage alleviates these problems with its anti-inflammatory effect. Cold reduces histamine release and calms nerve endings, which immediately reduces redness and irritation. Looking at it from another angle, how should you do it? The simplest method: wrap a few ice cubes in a clean cotton cloth or thin towel. Never press ice directly onto your skin, as it may cause cold burns. Clean your face thoroughly beforehand. Then massage your face with the ice-wrapped cloth using circular motions. The direction of movement is very important. Move upwards and outwards from your chin to your ears, from the corners of your mouth to your ears, from the sides of your nose to your temples, and from the center of your forehead to your temples. Never pull downwards because gravity already pulls the skin down. You should work against it. Gently press under the eyes and sweep towards the temples. This triggers lymphatic drainage. 5. Choose an activity that reduces your stress levels. Here's the thing about morning routines. Paying attention to stress management isn't just necessary for our mental health. It also has effects that significantly slow down our physical aging. Many people habitually wake up to an alarm, immediately start rushing around frantically, read the news, check their phone, start scrolling through social media, and try to get dressed in a hurry. I can tell you from experience that starting your day this way causes your body's natural stress hormone, cortisol, to be at a very high level from the very first minutes. And as you know, chronic high stress is one of the most important accelerators of aging, and unfortunately, collagen breakdown in our skin also increases significantly as a result. Of course, this also weakens our immune system considerably, and in some cases even causes significant damage to our cells. However, if we try to spend the first 5 to 10 minutes of the morning in a more peaceful, conscious and calm manner, we can set the rhythm for the rest of our day accordingly. To give an example, listening to music creates tremendous changes in the brain. Classical music, nature sounds, or calm instrumental pieces, in particular, activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Of course, this system is the body's rest and repair mode. Your heart rate slows down, your blood pressure drops, stress hormones decrease, and healing hormones increase. Studies show that people who listen to the works of composers like Mozart or Debussy experience a drop in cortisol levels of up to 25%. At the same time, happiness neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin increase. High dopamine and serotonin levels enhance skin radiance because when stress decreases, blood flow to the skin improves and oxygen transport increases. In general, reading a book takes the mind to a completely different dimension. Reading a book for the first 15 minutes in the morning, in particular, puts your brain in a creative and focused mode. Unlike reading your phone or the news, reading a book requires deep concentration and strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the center for decision-making, planning, and self-control. A strong prefrontal cortex reduces impulsive behavior, helps you make healthy decisions, and improves your overall quality of life. Reading books also activates empathy centers and strengthens the sense of social connection, which is strongly linked to longevity and youthfulness. In addition, meditation music, frequency therapy, or binaural beats are also very effective. Music produced at frequencies of 432 Hz or 528 Hz is claimed to support cellular repair and healing. Scientific evidence is still developing, but user experiences are very positive. Listening to this type of music with headphones for 10 minutes puts the mind into a deep state of calm. Alpha and theta brainwaves increase. These waves are associated with creativity, insight, and deep rest. When you start the day in this state, your body releases fewer stress hormones throughout the day and does more repair. 6. Be careful to use gentle cleansers to avoid disrupting the skin's pH balance. How I wash my face when I wake up actually has a very direct impact on how my skin will look throughout the day, and of course, how it will age in the long term. Unfortunately, many people do not pay enough attention to this issue. They use whatever cleanser they find, then rub their face with hot water and immediately go about their day. However, this approach essentially destroys the skin's natural protective barrier. Consequently, it disrupts the pH balance, and the rate of aging naturally increases as a result. Our skin normally has a specific acidity level. When you maintain this level, it acts as a shield against many harmful bacteria. This stabilizes our skin's moisture balance and supports collagen production. However, to give an example, when you use harsh alkaline cleansers, you clearly disrupt that balance. I would also like to mention that most traditional soaps have a pH between 9 and 11, which is quite alkaline. When you use these soaps, you completely destroy your skin's natural acid mantle. The acid mantle is a protective film found on the outermost layer of the skin, composed of sebum, sweat, and natural oils. Without this film, the skin loses more water, leading to dryness, irritation, redness, and sensitivity. Furthermore, the skin's resistance to harmful bacteria decreases, and acne and inflammation increase. Worse still, the disrupted pH balance affects the skin's enzymes, which are critical for collagen and elastin production. The result: accelerated aging, wrinkles, fine lines, and sagging. Looking at it from another angle, another drawback of harsh cleansers is that they dissolve the skin's natural lipid barrier. The lipid barrier is a layer of oil that holds skin cells together and keeps moisture inside. Sulfate-containing foaming agents, such as SLS and SLES, can aggressively strip this barrier. Loss of moisture means reduced elasticity, deeper fine lines, and dull, lifeless skin. Moreover, when the skin dries out, it paradoxically produces more oil as it tries to compensate for this loss. The result: an unbalanced skin that is both dry and oily. This clogs pores, leading to blackheads and acne. Also remember that gentle pH-balanced cleansers effectively cleanse while preserving the skin's natural structure. These products are usually formulated with a pH between 4.5 and 6, which is very close to the skin's own pH. They contain glucose-based or amino acid-based mild surfactants instead of sulfates. These cleanse away dirt and excess oil while preserving the skin's natural oils and pH balance. When you use this type of cleanser in the morning, your skin feels fresh and clean, yet soft and moisturized. There is no tightness, redness, or irritation. In the long term, your skin ages healthily, elasticity is preserved, collagen production remains balanced, and wrinkles appear later. 7. Make sure to exercise your facial muscles. Many of us exercise different muscle groups at home, at work, on the street, or at the gym from time to time. However, there is also the fact that we have 43 different muscles in our face, and these also need exercise from time to time. As you know, our upper muscles gradually begin to lose their vitality and radiance over time. In other words, they begin to succumb to gravity. Naturally, this can lead to sagging cheeks, drooping eyelids, and a paler complexion. However, facial yoga or facial exercises, when done regularly, can significantly slow down this process. If we spend just 5 to 10 minutes in the morning doing movements that consciously work our facial muscles, we can significantly increase our blood circulation, which in turn triggers collagen production. The fact is that scientific research proves the effectiveness of facial yoga. In a study conducted at Northwestern University, women aged 40 to 65 performed regular facial exercises for 20 weeks. The results were surprising. The participants' faces looked an average of 3 years younger, their cheeks were fuller, and their facial features were more defined. The reason is simple. When muscles are exercised, muscle fibers strengthen and increase in volume. Because facial muscles are located just beneath the skin, Strong muscles push the skin upward from the inside, creating natural fullness and firmness. At the same time as the muscles work, more blood is pumped to the area, increasing oxygen and nutrient transport. Of course, there's also this. Facial yoga also triggers lymphatic drainage. Toxins, excess fluid, and metabolic waste that accumulate in the face are removed through the lymphatic system. But the lymphatic system is passive, meaning it doesn't work on its own. It is activated by muscle movement and massage. When you work your facial muscles, lymphatic flow accelerates, puffiness decreases, and facial contours become more defined. Facial yoga is incredibly effective, especially for the puffiness and under-eye swelling seen upon waking in the morning. Facial exercises also reduce stress because you release tension in your facial muscles. Many people unconsciously clench their jaw, frown, or squint throughout the day. These chronic muscle tensions lead to wrinkles. The best part is this. Every morning, after washing your face, do these exercises in front of the mirror. It takes a total of 5 to 10 minutes. You may not notice a difference in the first 2 weeks, but after 4 to 6 weeks, the change becomes noticeable. Your cheeks are fuller, your jawline is sharper, your eyelids are tighter, and the lines on your forehead are less pronounced. Consistency is key. Once a day, every morning. If you add evenings too, results double in speed. Face yoga is the most powerful way to naturally rejuvenate your face using only your own muscles, without expensive creams or invasive procedures. Muscles have memory. When you train them, they become stronger and more voluminous over time. If you set aside 10 minutes every morning, you will see a much younger face when you look in the mirror years later. 8. Do 5 to 10 minutes of deep breathing exercises every day. As most of us would guess, the first thing we do when we wake up and open our eyes is, of course, breathe. Many people do this superficially, taking shallow breaths. There is actually a method called chest breathing, which only uses the upper part of the lungs. Of course, this causes our bodies to chronically lack oxygen. Now, oxygen deficiency actually causes one of the biggest effects of cellular aging to emerge. Think of it this way. When our cells don't have enough oxygen, there is a significant drop in energy production. This, of course, causes unwanted toxins to accumulate in the body over time, and thus the mitochondria, which I would call the cell's real energy factory, begin to deteriorate over time. However, if you do just 5 to 10 minutes of conscious, deep breathing exercises in the morning, you will revitalize your entire body and significantly increase the amount of oxygen reaching your cells. Of course, this also slows down the aging process considerably. Looking at it from another angle, deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system. This system is the body's rest, repair, digest mode. In contrast, stressful, rapid breathing activates the sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight mode. Staying in sympathetic mode constantly raises cortisol levels, weakens the immune system, increases inflammation, and accelerates aging. Morning deep breathing exercises put your body into a calm mode before the day begins. Your heart rate slows down, your blood pressure drops, cortisol decreases, and anti-aging hormones such as growth hormone and DHEA increase. These hormones support collagen synthesis, preserve muscle mass, and keep your metabolism young. I should also add that deep breathing balances blood pH and regulates carbon dioxide excretion from the body. When you take shallow breaths, carbon dioxide builds up and the blood becomes slightly acidic. An acidic environment increases inflammation, contributes to bone loss, osteoporosis, and reduces skin radiance. Deep, controlled breaths, on the other hand, shift the pH toward alkaline, detoxify the body, and support cellular health. They also activate the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is the body's waste collection mechanism, but it doesn't have a pump like the heart. It works with breath and movement. Deep diaphragmatic breathing can increase lymphatic flow by 15%, removing toxins more quickly. 9. Try to consume antioxidant-rich fruits. In the morning, after the repair and detoxification phase that takes place continuously throughout the night, the body is actually quite ready to receive sufficient nutrients, as I mentioned in some of the previous points. Of course, as you might expect, what you eat at this first meal actually has a significant impact on the health of your cells throughout the day. For example, if I had to give an example, fruits that are very rich in antioxidants, such as blackberries, raspberries, or blueberries, especially the dark-colored ones, create a really powerful protective effect in our bodies when consumed in the morning. These fruits naturally contain components that fight free radicals very effectively, thereby reducing oxidative stress, one of the main causes of aging. So if we bombard ourselves with antioxidants in the morning, our skin's radiance increases accordingly. Of course, this also slows down biological aging. Here's the reality. Free radicals are unstable molecules constantly produced in the body that damage cells. They are formed as a result of air pollution, sunlight, stress, processed foods, and even normal metabolic processes. Free radicals attack cell membranes, damage DNA, break down collagen and elastin fibers, and increase inflammation. The result? Wrinkles, uneven skin tone, spots, loss of elasticity, and accelerated aging. Antioxidants neutralize these free radicals, rendering them harmless and protecting cells to slow down aging. Consuming antioxidant-rich fruits in the morning keeps this protection active throughout the day. Let me also mention that blueberries, for example, are the king of the antioxidant world. They contain powerful flavonoids called anthocyanins, compounds that give the fruit its deep blue color and have incredible anti-aging properties. Anthocyanins increase collagen synthesis in the skin, reduce UV damage, and improve skin blood circulation by strengthening microvessels. They also support brain health, strengthen memory, and protect neural connections. Studies show that cognitive decline progresses 25% slower in people who regularly consume blueberries. Remember, a handful of blueberries at breakfast is worth its weight in gold for both your skin and your brain. There's also this fact. Pomegranate is another antioxidant superstar. It contains unique polyphenols like punicalagin and ellagic acid. These compounds have an antioxidant effect 3 times stronger than green tea and 10 times stronger than red wine. Pomegranate reduces inflammation, prevents cholesterol oxidation, critical for heart health, improves blood flow, and repairs sun damage to the skin. Pomegranate also has estrogen-like effects. This is especially important for women going through menopause because estrogen loss leads to thinning skin and decreased elasticity. A glass of freshly squeezed pomegranate juice, or half a pomegranate in the morning, supports hormonal balance and rejuvenates the skin from within. Of course, blackberries and raspberries are also antioxidant sources that should not be overlooked. They contain ellagic acid, a compound that regulates melanin production in the skin and reduces sunspots. They are also very rich in vitamin C. Vitamin C is an absolutely essential cofactor for collagen synthesis. No matter how much protein you eat for collagen production, synthesis does not occur without vitamin C. Consuming a handful of these fruits in the morning meets a large part of your daily vitamin C requirement and maintains skin firmness. Furthermore, these fruits have a low glycemic index, meaning they don't rapidly raise blood sugar and help prevent insulin resistance. 10. Apply natural oils to your face. For example, I use certain products in my morning skincare routine, Have you ever paid attention to what's actually in them? Many commercially produced moisturizers, for example, can contain harmful synthetic chemicals, perfumes, or cheap mineral oils. Of course, these compounds unfortunately disrupt the skin's natural balance. In other words, they clog pores and accelerate aging in the long run. However, natural plant oils, such as argan or jojoba, have a structure very similar to your own sebum. Therefore, they are perfectly absorbed by the skin, ensuring that pores never become clogged. This also provides deep nourishment for your skin. Also, keep in mind that when you apply natural oils to your face in the morning, your moisture barrier is significantly strengthened, which reduces inflammation and increases the elasticity of your skin. Generally speaking, jojoba oil is not technically an oil, but a liquid wax. This special structure makes it 95% similar to human sebum. Because it mimics the skin's natural oil, it is suitable for all skin types, perfect for both dry and oily skin. It creates a paradoxical effect on oily skin. It makes the skin perceive that it already has sufficient oil and reduces excessive sebum production. For dry skin, it provides deep moisture. It contains minerals and vitamins such as jojoba, vitamin E, B-complex vitamins, zinc, copper, and selenium. Vitamin E is a powerful antioxidant that protects the skin against free radicals. Jojoba is also anti-inflammatory, reducing acne, redness, and irritation. There is also the fact that argan oil is known as liquid gold and is a local product of Morocco. Its content is incredibly rich. It is full of vitamin E, vitamin A, omega-6, and omega-9 fatty acids, ferulic acid, squalene, and polyphenols. These compounds increase collagen and elastin production, maintain skin elasticity, and reduce wrinkles. The squalene in argan oil is very similar to the skin's natural moisturizing factor and supplements this compound, which decreases with age. Ferulic acid and polyphenols are powerful antioxidants. They reduce UV damage, neutralize free radicals, and fade sunspots on the skin. Regular use of argan oil evens out skin tone and lightens age spots. Now, let me also mention that another benefit of natural oils is that they strengthen the skin's barrier function. The skin barrier is the lipid, oil layer on the outer layer, and when this layer is damaged, the skin's water loss increases, sensitivity occurs, and aging accelerates. With age, especially after 40, the skin's natural oil production decreases and the barrier weakens. Applying natural oils in the morning reinforces this lipid layer, reduces transepidermal water loss, TEWL, and keeps the skin moist and plump. Moist skin makes wrinkles less noticeable and generally gives a younger appearance. After explaining these 10 points in this video, I can briefly say that the secret to youth is definitely in your hands. Now, all you really need to do is start applying one of these habits tomorrow morning when you wake up. You can be sure that after a while, your body will start thanking you in a very clear way. Your skin will become much brighter and more radiant. If this video has added value to you, don't forget to like and subscribe because more content on youth and beauty is coming. Take care of yourself because you deserve it. See you in the next video. And remember, when you wake up tomorrow morning, if you practice even just one of these habits, you've already started winning. Youth isn't a chance, it's a choice, and make that choice today because you deserve it.